and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and for letting me read for you. We are doing a reading today for Are You Meant to Be with This Person? So we're going to get input from Spirit as to whether or not you guys are meant to be. And hopefully I can give you some pretty good answers here, or hopefully I can translate the answers that Spirit puts down in the cards. So we have 4 beautiful cards here. I tried to give them all the same like swirly theme. So I'm going to zoom in on these and you can go ahead and pick the card that you think looks the best and it'll directly direct you to your pile below. But really quickly, we have turquoise, sunstone, malachite, and ocean jasper. So take a look, whatever speaks to you, that's your pile, and I will see you soon for your reading. Thank you so much. Goodbye. This is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and for letting me read for you. I'm really excited for this reading. My candle's working. I've got this silly stack of cat cards, which I'm excited to work with. And I don't know, I like this topic. You are here for a reading of Are You Meant to Be with This Person? So we are going to jump right into your reading. Before doing so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe. I'm kind of turning up the will you please subscribe to my channel vibe. But yes, if you are here and you're happy with my reading, I would love a subscription. Okay, but let's get right into it. We've got turquoise, and oh, if someone doesn't love turquoise, they're crazy. It is just, yeah, and this is a beautiful piece of turquoise. It looks like it's surrounded by gold. Okay, we are gonna find out if you're meant to be with this person. Okay, I wanna see your person. And actually, I'm gonna start out with some oracle cards, and first, I want to see your person, and it's going to kind of help me understand them, and then I'll put some tarot around them. So this is your person, voice, speaking your word. This to me, so your person is someone who I would say they are very outspoken. I would say they are very good with words. I think they're probably a great communicator. They don't hold back. I think they have a fantastic way of expressing themselves at the very least through their voice, through their sound, through their word, which is a really nice thing because not everyone's great at that. So, you know, right off the bat, I like that about your person, and we'll see, we'll get a little bit more about them to kind of feel if this is a union that works for you. And if you guys are meant, I think the question here is like meant to be. I want to see your person a little more clearly. So we've got the Magician. Yes, these are cat cards. We have the 5 of Cups, and we have the 3 of Swords. This is the 3 of Swords. Okay, so we know your person's outspoken. We know they're confident with their voice, which is great. I would say they're a little bit of everything. And I just want to get a picture of them before we can like determine if you guys are meant to be. I'm really going to want to see how compatible you are. There's something I really like about this voice card. The Magician card tells me they can make just about anything they want happen, which means if they didn't want to be with you, I don't think they would be. There's something to make me think if this person wasn't meant to be with you and therefore they just wouldn't be with you. I'm getting a positive feeling off your guys' connection here. Even though the 5 of Cups is a funny card, there's a little bit of loss here in this card. But I somehow think you make them feel more like empowered, more confident, whatever they lost in their past, whether it was another relationship. And I don't even know that it was, but it's a card of loss all the same. It could be something that happened to them when they were younger. There's just some little energy they carry around. But you know, they're outspoken about it, or they're willing to talk or communicate about it. I just don't feel like they're trapped in any way. I feel like they're just very capable. And the 3 of Swords card, this is also a card of pain. This is a card of, I guess, you know, your heart getting trampled on, bit in half. There's more to make me think that your person has pain, but I don't know why I'm not getting the sense that this pain they're bringing to your guys' dynamic is from another relationship. It could be, but there's this feeling that there's something else, like some trauma from childhood, you know, or ancestral trauma or something. There's something that has this feeling that makes them feel, I don't know, like they just can't ever find that missing piece, or like they're just kind of in search of something. However, I don't mind this part of them. It makes them more interesting, especially when I see that they are willing to be so outgoing and open. There's an openness to this person. I'll say that. I don't feel like they're hiding things. I don't feel like there's nothing like conniving or off about them. I like them. I like their energy and I like them. If I had to say, are you guys meant to be, just based off of these cards, I would say they seem like a very communicative, intentional person. And again, if you guys weren't meant to be, I think one of you would pick up on this and communicate it. So far this does feel fairly positive. And, okay, I'm going to get you here and I want to feel you out a little bit. So who are you in this dynamic? And we have marine life, and I'm going to have to shift everything up. So marine life is just it's abundance, but it's abundance in almost this like unexplored, kind of untapped potential. There's so much in the ocean that we don't know about. There's so much down there that we could never fathom. And when I see marine life, I think you, with this person, although I think things are probably pretty good, there's still so much more of you that you can show them. I don't know that you're necessarily holding back, although you may be a little bit, but I don't think it's because I don't think you're like scared or you think this person isn't good. I think you like this person. I actually feel that you have a very good feeling and read of this person. But you just want to make sure, and you know, you're here for this reading. You're probably questioning, you're putting out these questions to the universe of, yeah, are we meant to be? Is this really my person? And once you know that it is, I think you will absolutely dive in, because there is a lot more of you to show and reveal and share. And I think that whomever this is, I really think they can bring this out in you. There's something like, I don't know that you show this, all this depth, all this beauty, all this like chaos, whatever these pieces of you are. I don't know that you show them to a lot of people. And it probably takes a lot for you to reveal these parts of you in a relationship. And I feel like if you're asking this question, you probably want to start opening up and sharing more of yourself, more of who you are, or maybe like the next step would be you guys moving in together, or investing in something together, or sharing like more intimate parts of your life. And you're just really wondering, like, is this the person I can do this with? Is it like a safe space? And I would say there's something very positive off these cards that I like, even though it's funny because these two cards here are sad. And there is heartbreak, but I don't see the heartbreak being about you. I don't see it being about a relationship. I just see that your person has some complexities, but they've just they've overcome these. And it's not like this annoying energy where they're always talking about what they've been through and how they've overcome it and how they're always working on themselves. It's not even like that. It's just like, you know it, close friends know it. This person's been through something, and they're just more interesting to be around as a result of that. And I do think that you have a lot you want to share with this person, and I hope you get to do that, because it does feel like this would be a good person to do that with. So far it does feel like you guys are somewhat, I just can't be like you guys are absolutely meant to be, but based on what I'm seeing so far, things are looking good. I want to see you a little bit more clearly in this dynamic. So we have the Lovers, which is obviously a great start to this. We have the Chariot, and you're not going to see this card if I put it down below, so I'll put it up above, but this is you. And then we have Two of Cups. So this is a very like loved up little spread we have here. And I really like this. I'll just say, rarely do I do readings that are truly warm and fuzzy, or where I get this like just uber positive vibe off of it. And of course, turquoise would do this. I don't know. There's just something very like sparkly and just beautiful about this connection you guys have. And like beautiful to look at, but I think there's a lot of depth here for you guys. I think this is much more than a like, oh, we look great walking down the street together. I think you guys really have something. And I see for your cards, okay, so Two of Cups, this is a card about love. This is a card about sharing. I mean, it's a card of just merging lives, merging interests. There's definitely a romance aspect to this card. There's a lot about this card that makes me think like, yes, you guys, if you aren't there already, you're on a pretty fast track to do this. And the Lovers and the Chariot, we've got the Chariot here, and it's like you're just moving towards this momentum. There's an absolute momentum built up for you guys, where I think that I think you guys both want a relationship. I think you both really want to be serious and be in something, my goodness, excuse me, that feels very serious and committed. If you aren't committed now, I don't think you're in this sort of very, I don't want to say reckless, because I'm not judging anyone's situation who isn't committed, but I don't think you're in this like completely gray area where it's chaotic and you're sad all the time. I think you just haven't had like that big conversation where you're like, okay, and now we're committed, boom, like, and go. I just don't think you've done that yet if you aren't committed. If you are committed already, I think you have a lot in front of you, and you're probably right now thinking, how do I do this? Or should I really go for this? And the answer is yes. I really think you guys are meant to be. I think you both gel very well together. Almost like you guys either finish each other's sentences, you just get each other. I'm sure when you guys are together, you have these conversations that are like just those ooey gooey conversations that would make your friends vomit if they heard them. But like you know, when you're like so into someone and you'll just talk about how amazing as a couple you are and how your dynamic is better than anyone else's or whatever. Like you just really hold your own relationship to a very high, you just have a high esteem for it. And I think that that's accurate. I think you guys are both very committed and very into one another. It is sweet. And I do think there is this recent momentum for you guys. I see that with the Chariot, and I see this like push from both of you to get to this, I say committed, and I don't mean commitment only in the sense of like, oh, you're just with each other, because that might be the case with you guys for a while, who knows? But when I say committed, I mean like you're really, you're each other's person. Like there isn't this question mark ever. Like, until you have a conversation saying, sorry, I don't want this anymore. Like, you're in it, and you don't have to have a ring on your finger for that. You don't have to have kids for that. You just have to have that conversation where you really establish, like, we're in this, you're my person, and yes, we're meant to be. And I think you guys sit up at night talking about how you're meant to be. I just think this is probably your soulmate. And I'm not differentiating right now between soulmate or twin flame. It could be either, both, who knows? But I do feel like this is a very soulmate-y connection for you guys. And there's warmth to this that I really, really like. So I'm going to get a person card that just kind of, you two in a nutshell when you're together. Like, what's your vibe when you guys are together? And let's see if this tracks for what you feel when you guys are together. This would be something that both of you feel. And because I think you are actually meant to be, I'm asking for this message. So let's see what Spirit thinks. So when you guys are together, we've got life and breath. So breath and then life. So you probably just breathe life into one another. I think you guys are when I think of breath, I think of this like ebb and flow, this give and take, this kind of, the constricting and the, whatever the opposite of constriction is. I cannot think of the word, but like just this kind of really working together. One give, one takes. And even in the background, we have what looks like heart pumps or something, and lungs, and just, I think you guys just flow together so well. And the more I look at your guys's flow in general, there's something really smooth about it. Just consistent and smooth and loving. I dig you guys. And spiritually speaking, it does feel like there's a spiritual component to you guys. And I go back to it, I didn't articulate it very well, but I do think each one of you feels that you're meant to be. And I do think these are conversations you have. And earlier I said like, oh, we have the best relationship of anyone we know, or, oh, we're the best couple. And those are jokes. Like, you can make those jokes with your person. It's sweet and it's funny and it like connects you guys. But really on a deep level, I think you guys both really think that you've met someone that you truly click with. And it's really, really sweet to see. And it makes me happy to do this reading. And it probably won't even go on for that much longer, because it's just very positive. And to me, there is an absolute message here that you are indeed meant to be. I'm going to get some chakra cards to get a little bit more about what you sort of develop and bring about in each other. And these are just more like positive reinforcement, I guess, and just maybe something if you did want any constructive criticism or something. Okay, so these are going to be your chakra cards. I'm going to say this is a chakra that you have really developed with this person that is like really working well. This relationship really brings about this and kind of instills this chakra energy. So for you, we're going to do 2 here. So we've got success, and this is orange. So I'm going to say this is like very much a sacral chakra. So this is, here, we'll get into that in a second. I'm holding on to this pile. Okay. And then we've got death, and this is good because we're asking what you've like worked on, what feels good. And so if I explain these as best I can, I'm going to say that this being a sacral chakra, I think you're happy. And when I think of success, I think of like you've almost found peace. Like you have succeeded in finding the thing you want. You're not searching. You're not left wanting to like look under, leaving no stone unturned, looking for something. You're not searching. You've found that peace that makes you happy. And it is kind of this like golden arch kind of situation, or this rainbow. And this can, because this is orange and we're going to connect it to your sacral chakra, this does have a lot to do with like that, almost like that primal kind of, there's a little bit of lust here. There's a little bit of like I guess like sex organs. There's just this sense of like you're home. You're not searching. You have succeeded in finding something that makes you very, very happy. That's what I get out of this. When you're with this person, you just feel good and you feel like you could almost stop looking. And I feel this a lot. And like, I would say you guys probably have a great physical connection. Yeah, that physically you guys click, and not just like to say like, oh, it's not like, oh, just to say you guys have like great sex or something. That's not really the point. What I mean is like, you guys really, you just feel very complete with this person. You don't feel like you're left wanting anything, or you don't feel like there's an uncomfortable or icky component to anything that would be like from, you know, the belly button down kind of feeling. And I know I didn't do a very good job of explaining that. I hope that wasn't like cringy, but I just feel like this person really makes you feel secure and safe and happy. And to me, this card would be like, in the past, you either had, like maybe a hard time expressing yourself physically, or maybe you were always very hesitant to do that. It just wasn't something you felt comfortable doing, or you always felt like every partner you were with, you liked them a lot as a person, but you weren't into them physically. And I feel like this person is someone you like as a person, and you're also really into them physically. So it doesn't leave you wanting for anything else. And that's great. You guys obviously click. It's very cool. And then the death card, this isn't necessarily connected to a chakra because it's black, but to me, death is like, it's this fear of loss. It's this fear of losing someone. It's like the ultimate fear of like, it's like when you're afraid to really commit or open up or be vulnerable because it's going to result in you losing something. And I just feel like with this relationship, you don't have that fear. This is a good card because it came up to say like, this person doesn't make you feel scared or questioning or lost or confused. All those things that death, when we think of death, that weird pit we get in our stomach, or for everyone it's different, but this relationship does not make you feel that way. It makes you feel like you want to just live your life, enjoy each moment, and you're not thinking about like, what if the bottom falls out? What if it is too good to be true? What if we're not meant to be? Like, I really think you know you're meant to be with this person. You probably saw this title and you're like, oh, I'll just watch this tarot reading and hopefully I get the message that I already know. And I really hope that is the case, because you're here getting a message you already know. You know you guys are meant to be. And yeah, and so I'm going to do the same thing for your person because everything's so positive. I just want to restate to you what is great about this connection. So let's find out what you bring up, what your person feels when they're with you. That is like very positive chakra energy. So we've got peace and we've got surrender. So for these lovely little cards, this piece is like kind of gray, but I'm not necessarily connecting it to a chakra, but I will say this, your person feels very much at peace with you. And by this, it's not just like, oh, that word translates, so I'll use it. I think your person, it's like this sense, it's like a home, right? This reminds me of like a little homing pigeon or a dove that just represents this very calm kind of gratitude, calm. Yeah, I just think your partner is very, very grateful to be with you. I think they very much see you and recognize you, and they feel very happy to be with you. You make them very happy. And as a result, they are peaceful. They are just like you. They're not searching. You're not searching for another partner to please you in this physical way or to meet any needs. That's not your search here, although it's been in the past. It's not here. And for your partner, this sense of peace and kind of gratitude that they have towards you, maybe in the past they thought, as weird as this is, maybe they thought like other people were kind of shitty that they dated. Maybe they always felt like they deserved better, and like maybe how some people think or express themselves. Maybe they just really, this just makes me think they are very grateful to have you. And whatever it is about you in particular that makes them feel this way, I can't pinpoint it, but it's just this sense that like they see something in you that they really respect and they really like it. And as a result, they're at peace in this dynamic. I don't think they have a checklist of things they want you to work on. I think they really they probably very, very much love you. Or if you guys haven't gotten there yet, you're gearing up to this like, oh my God, like this is incredible kind of thing. So just such a really, really positive reading. I wish there were more like this. There aren't. And then for your person's surrender, again, these cards go so well together because this tells me that they are with you. It's like they would surrender to this relationship. Like they would give themselves over to this. They would make sacrifices. They would do whatever they could to really see this through. And this has that very like high level chakra to it where there's something like, this is a very spiritual kind of, I don't want to use the word high again, but like high level way of thinking, like very tapped in, very connected, very like conscious. They want to be with you, period. And they want to see this relationship through. So, I don't have anything on the table to make me think, any red flag to see that you aren't meant to be with this person. I will say, I take everything with a grain of salt. This is a message that I am getting from the cards I turn over. So, I don't want to say that this is someone you should marry and have 100 babies with, but I am getting a very, very, very positive message off this person. And I think too, there's something, you really care for this person in a way that maybe you've never cared for anyone. Something about like a past pain or trauma they had. I don't know that you've seen them through it in real time, but I think you've talked with them a lot about it. You've probably helped them grow and get past maybe a little piece of it that was like lingering or something that came up where they realize they're still dealing with that. I just think you guys have really like crossed a lot of boundaries together that maybe you haven't crossed with other relationships. And I do really get this message, and I keep going back to it. And it's like, it's weird how much I've talked about like your like sexual proclivity to this person, but like there's just a strong message here again to either imply that like you haven't enjoyed being physical with people in the past and you feel that way towards this person, or you in the past have never had this component like really satisfied in you for whatever reason. And like this person just doesn't leave you thinking of any question in a physical way. And I won't even try to elaborate on that anymore. It's just, I get these messages that like, I feel like I need to harp on. And then as soon as I do, I'm like, okay, enough about that. But I think you probably get what I'm talking about here. So yes, I do think you guys are meant to be. I think there's something very sweet, very sincere, very kind, very gentle about both of you, but also a message I get off your person as well. And I just think your person is someone that, again, I think they really appreciate, there's a kindness or a goodness in you that they really see and appreciate. And they respect and like just all really good things. And I do see you guys moving very intensely towards this Lovers card. And I will say the Lovers card also has like a choice element to it. And when I see this kind of rush towards the Lovers, there may be a decision you need to make. Like, I don't know if it's a proposal. I don't know if it's moving in together or moving to their town or vice versa or whatever. But I do think there's like a next step relationship choice that is on the table. And I would say this would be a positive reading to go for the decision that you want, the move that you want. So, okay, I hope you liked this. I liked it. Based on my readings, this will probably be the only positive one in the whole deck. So good for you. I'm very glad you got it. Please let me know any comments, feedback, subscribe, whatever you want to do. I'd really appreciate it. But thank you so much. And I will see you again soon. Goodbye. Tarot, thank you so much for being here and for letting me read for you. We are doing a reading for, are you meant to be with this person? So we are going to ask Spirit for her feedback and guidance, one way or the other. The last reading was like overwhelmingly positive. So, too bad you didn't pick that pile. It was a good one. Okay, but you are here for Sunstone, and this is your reading. It doesn't matter that you didn't pick that pile. This is definitely, well, this is probably your reading. Sunstone, okay. And by definitely, I mean, I'm really confident that it is, but once I said definitely, it felt very extreme. Okay, I am excited to get into this. I am going to start with asking you to subscribe. That was a really bad intro to ask for a subscription off of, but especially if you like this reading, you can wait till the end. Please subscribe. Okay, your person. I'm going to ask to see your person in this relationship right now. Yeah, I just want to get a picture of who they are, and then I'll put some tarot around that, and then we'll build it out. Okay, so your person, ice, purity. This could go a couple different ways for me, but there's definitely, I like the word purity a lot. That is especially in terms to a relationship, it's very pure. It's clean. It's concise. It's crisp. It's sterile. It reminds me of someone who doesn't cheat or wouldn't cheat. It reminds me of someone who, I couldn't say what they want. There's also a chill that comes along with this. There's a coldness. There's, you think of icing someone out. You think of someone who might not have have expressed a full capacity to commit or let you know, let's say you are meant to be. I don't get the feeling that this person would do a very good job expressing that, which may be why you're here, because perhaps all those things track for your person and yet they're still cold. And some people are just colder. It's just their demeanor, their manner. It doesn't mean you aren't meant to be. Okay, so I'm going to get some tarot about your person. I want to see them a little more clearly so I can get an idea of if you're meant to be. So Knight of Swords, which is someone who kind of jumps right in. We've got the Page of Cups. That's interesting. And then we have the Seven of Cups. Okay. So okay, so starting with the Seven of Cups there, this is a dreams of fantasies card. This can be a card of, this card almost always has a darker theme for me, but I don't know that I'm seeing a darker theme here. What I'm getting from your person is that they're a lot more dynamic than they show. You probably see this because I think you obviously care for this person very much and you've gotten to know them to an extent. But I think I think they have a very cool, slick, clean, sterile exterior that they show to the world, but there is a lot going on with this person. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a pretty high level job, or if they are just very focused at work. I don't see them as being silly. However, we do have however, that said, these are two fairly juvenile cards. We've got the Page of Cups and the Knight of Swords. So they do, I think they're quick to make decisions. Let's put it that way. I don't think they ask for anyone's permission. I don't think they ask for advice either. And I do think they are probably a little more hot-headed and apt to lose their cool than people would think. This actually reminds me of someone who, although they're one way on the exterior, they're quite a bit different underneath. And we're going to have to get a little bit more about them because that is the message that's coming through. There's almost like two sides to this person. Like they have this black and this white side. And I would say that this one side of them is the side they show to the world that they want people to see. And then this other side of them is probably almost beyond their control. Someone who is a little hot-headed. I definitely get this temper, like they always want things perfect. They want things done exactly their way. They're probably like almost a control freak, a perfectionist, maybe a little OCD. But they do have a passion to them. There is definitely a passion there, but I can't quite see who they are because I don't know. I just feel like they're like a chameleon. They're either showing you what you want to see of them or everything's kind of like a facade. So are you guys meant to be? I couldn't say because I honestly am struggling to get a read on your person. We will get there, but right now there's a big gray area here for me. Okay, I want to see in this dynamic I gotta get these cards. Hold on. Okay, so in this dynamic, I want to see who you are. Like, what's your kind of almost role in this dynamic? Sorry, there's a huge glare here, but basically it's like icicles hanging down over a person. Okay, so in this dynamic, you are the West, which is completion. And the West, as we all know, or should all know, got conquered at some point. I couldn't tell you the year, so I guess I don't know much about it. But I know the West was conquered. I know that West always kind of represents this like expansion, like you're going west, you're achieving something. There's definitely this sense of completion. So in this relationship, I don't know why, and I always feel kind of silly sometimes when I use direct words, like, I do think you think that this person kind of completes you. I do think this is someone you want to be with. I believe this person might look very good on paper. And it's weird because these cards to me, like I said, they are slightly juvenile and they are slightly silly, but I don't know why I still feel like your person is very high powered. There's a lot of control there. There's a lot of drive. But that comes with a intense personality that I wouldn't even say is all that fun. I just think there's an intensity to this person. There is a feeling that when things are good with this person and when you're having fun, you're probably spending money, or they're probably spending money, but I think they can be very good and very fun and very dynamic. However, I don't know that happens all the time. I get the feeling that this is someone, when things are good, they're great. And you can go through these like almost droughts of not seeing that aspect of this relationship, of this partnership. And then when you do, it feeds you for like the next week or month or whatever. But something about this works for you, or it excites you. If I'm going to say I don't feel like you're meant to be, I don't want to say that just yet because I do need more cards about who you are in this dynamic. I think you want this to be someone you're meant to be with. I really think you want that. And I think, dare I say, that you want that for the wrong reasons. And I will say, if you aren't meant to be with this person and it doesn't work out, my gut tells me you will recover very quickly from this, because I think there would be a point, if things don't work out, or if you pull away or they do or whatever, where you would look back and be like, this person's, who were they? Like, are they phony at the end of the day? Are they even sincere? Like, who are they? And okay, so I'm going to get a read on you, and then we're going to ask Spirit, like, straight up, are you meant to be? Because this is not for me to determine. There's a lot going on here, and your person is like, there's just something confusing about them. Okay, so, and it's even confusing, pardon me, like who you are in this relationship. It's like, I get the feeling this is a box you want to check for reasons I can't quite see, because I don't see this person as being a catch necessarily. I don't know that your friends or your family see it that way, but you do see it that way. And again, this might be that good on paper scenario, but really they aren't, to me, they aren't even quite as good in real life as they appear on paper. There's Okay, but I don't want to badmouth them and I don't want to turn you off from this reading. I want to get an idea of who you are in this relationship. And then we're going to ask Spirit, like, are you guys meant to be? So hang with me. Okay, so who are you? Knight of Wands. That's interesting. Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands. The Hierophant. Okay. And Temperance. You're kind of like, I feel like you're like the angel of this dynamic. I feel like you're the one that brings the passion, I will say. I think you either initiate a lot of the passion, but even when it comes to like conversations, I think this person is probably very passionate about a few things: money, work, success. I mean, it's so cliche, like climbing the corporate ladder, whatever. I just feel like this person is tapped into like all these beautiful, fancy things that really don't have to do with you or relationships necessarily. I don't know that this is someone that you sit around talking about like all the kids you're going to have or what you're going to name them or where you're going to retire. Like, I just don't think that's this person. I mean, they might talk about where they're going to retire. They probably love that topic, but everything I think has like a monetary piece to it. I don't know. There's a lot of love and romance that comes off this person. And you're okay with this for whatever reason, or it kind of turns you on a little bit that you are with someone that maybe is so almost like hard to get, or it would be such an accomplishment if you were able to get this person that you would feel like, oh, of course we're meant to be. Look what I've done. But I don't want to make you feel bad because I see you actually as being a very passionate person. Like, you have wants, you have needs. And I mean this outside of like a physical capacity. I think you have like a plan for your life and you're devoted to this. Like, I don't know, like hobbies. I get the idea that you're very much into your hobbies. You're into your friends. You're into your like your little side things that you do. And you have a dynamic life, much more than I believe this person actually gives you credit for. But then when I say why I think you're so good is because you also have these other pieces that I'm not seeing from this person. The Hierophant card to me is someone that they're like, oh my God. It's like, there's like a structure, which your person definitely has structure, but I don't know that they bring it into the relationship. So I think you're the one that's trying so hard to make this relationship kind of look and function a certain way. And you want it to be how you want a relationship to function. Whether that's like, we have breakfast together and we actually catch up on what we're doing that day. And then we check up at one point during the day and then we have a glass of wine together at night. Like, whatever it is, I just feel like you very much want there to be this structure, and you want it to be like good and pure and sincere. And I just get that you're the one always pushing for that. And it's weird because I do think your person lives a very structured life. But I just don't know that they're giving it to the relationship. I feel like they're in this boys club somehow, or they're a part of like some like upscale, I want to say society, but like group, whether it's like the country club or whether it's, I don't know what, but like I feel like they're a part of something that you're not a part of for some reason. And anyway, that might be neither here nor there. And then with Temperance, I do think you are trying very hard to find the balance here, and almost like you're trying to heal this person. And I do think they have a bit of a wounded soul. There's some lack here for this person. Like their soul is lacking. There's something that isn't completely, like, this person's almost a little bit short of being completely human to me. I'm not at all saying they're a bad person. And I do want to like come back to that. I don't think they're bad. I'm not getting any evil or maliciousness off of them. I just think their priorities and their focus are different than yours right now. And if you're here asking if you guys are meant to be, I just would say, I don't think they're asking this question. Or if they are asking this question, I don't know. I just don't think it's something they think about. I don't think they operate like that. Let's put it that way. I don't think being meant to be with someone is something they even ever think about. It's just not how they're wired. So that's why I just can't get a read on it, because let's say this is someone you actually get along great with. Let's say you guys really do have a very like positive, healthy vibe that works for both of you. You're happy. There's no toxicity here. They are, they're not cheating. They're not running around with other people. So let's say all that is met. I just don't think they're wired to think, oh, you're my person and we're just going to be together forever. However, they might commit to you indefinitely, and that is an option. So my meant to be, I can't say you guys are meant to be. I will say that I don't hate them for you, or in general. I don't hate them. There is, I think, a potential for them to soften, and I want to get a little bit more of information about that. But I do think you're working very hard to kind of strike a balance with this person and almost like heal them and heal yourself and heal this bond, this connection that you have, like really grow it somehow. And you're working towards this. And I'm not going to knock that. I mean, everyone's different. That not everyone wants to be in a relationship. I think that they have to work so hard, but it's different to work hard towards making some like piece of shit cheating guy not cheat anymore. That's a different kind of work hard. Your work hard is like, okay, I've got someone who could be committed, knows how to commit, has done it before. They're just always going to be a little bit disconnected, or they're always going to just be a little bit over here and I'm going to be a little bit over here. But that doesn't mean you guys won't work. And to that point, I almost feel like I'm going to get like, I don't know if you guys, like, I'm not going to say yes or no to this dynamic. But I want to see who you guys are when you're together. What are you? Like, what card kind of encapsulates you two as a couple? What's the energy that we get off of you? And so, I mean, I love this, right? Okay, this is passion and the soul. So, and it is funny when readings take a turn. I'm not going to derail everything I said and be like, yes, you guys are meant to be. But I will say, we asked for a card that just paints a very true and accurate picture of what your guys' dynamic is like. And I get a card of passion and the soul, which means you guys, I don't know, you're actually quite connected. And maybe I can't get a reading on this person because maybe there are so few people in general that this person actually connects to. Maybe they shut everyone out. Maybe they're not looking for a spiritual connection. Maybe they're very closed off in a lot of ways, but you guys do actually connect. And I do, to that point, I do think this person has things to work on. And I think if you guys are meant to be and you continue or you jump into this, I would like to see your person get more spiritual, more open, let you in, let different energies in, let different guidance in. I have a feeling if you told them you did a tarot reading asking if you guys were meant to be, they would, I don't know if they would laugh in your face, but they would do their equivalent of laughing in your face. And I'm not going to judge them for that, but I would say I would love to see you get to a point with this person where they could be like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know if it's for me, but okay, what'd they say? Like, at least approach it with an open mind or some interest. But I do think they have the capacity to be spiritual and connected. And I actually, as I say that, I think at some point in their life, they were much more so. They were either brought up very religious, or maybe they were in a relationship or a marriage where their wife was very religious, or their significant other, wife, husband, whatever, was very religious. I just feel like they've come off that and they've almost done like this deep dive into the other direction. But I do like this weird kind of change of events that's happened here. If I had to answer your question, are you guys meant to be? Because I pulled this card over and because there's nothing here to make me think you shouldn't be with this person, I'm going to say yes, you guys are meant to be. With the caveat of all the little things I threw in before, like I still don't think this person would ever use the words meant to be. So bear that in mind. I do think this person has a set of priorities and not necessarily you, but a relationship might not be at the top. But I also think that this person values commitment. I think they value like trust, honesty, respect. They want to be respected. They want to respect the person they're with. And I think if all these things are happening, this person could very much be your person and vice versa. And I've said the word person a lot. I realize that. But I am going to give this reading like 1 more minute or 2 more minutes, and I'm going to ask for these chakra cards. And I want to know from Spirit what chakras, we're going to get 1 of each, what you guys need to work on. Okay. And this is like what you need to work on and what they need to work on. And this would be to like make it obvious to both of you that you're meant to be. So you need to work on this. We'll get there. And they need to work on this. So, okay, these are both red root chakras. These are your root chakra. This is like the part of you that is closest to the earth. This is your, like the base of your tailbone. There's another word for it. It's not coming to me right now. And you need to work on your anger, which is interesting because I did say that I see this person having a temper. But you know, I feel like these are switched, and I never do this. I don't know. Do I want to switch these? Because I get a weird feeling that I should be switching these. I think these are, I don't know. Okay, I'm not going to switch them. They came out the way they did, but something about this layout, there might be an anger, and it might be maybe the situation angers you or it frustrates you, just another synonym for anger. But something about this is like displeasing and it's upsetting to you. And I think if you're going to be in this dynamic, you have to know you're not going to get everything unfolding for you the way you want it to with this person. There's going to be a different time schedule. Things are just it's not going to look like your best friend's relationship, in other words. And you already know that, and you can't let that get you angry or discouraged. It can't shake up your life. It can't make you feel like displaced or homeless. You've got to really find your base and just ride with it. You're going to have to really accept this at its base core value. Okay, great. And then for your person, we've got stop, also root chakra. I think they need to stop a lot of things. I think they need to either, if they're traveling too much, if they're moving around too much for work, I think they need to like literally create a base for themselves, a home base more, stop moving around so much. But there's just this, like, I get a stop of movement. Like they really need to ground themselves somehow. And I really do see this as like stop a movement, a shuffling around, a chaos. Like maybe you don't have to go do this 4 nights a week. Maybe it's not so important that you go to every, I don't know, freaking happy hour or meeting or whatever, or photo shoot or whatever it is. But I just feel like there needs to be a little bit more planting themselves at home with you. And if you can work on this, which is probably like a way of you pestering and annoying this person at the end of the day and pushing them away, they need to work on putting a little more effort in and spending more time in this kind of homey environment with you. And don't let these 2 cards throw you off. If this didn't really speak to you, that's okay. Cause I am honestly considering cutting them out. I'm not going to, but that's how I'm like, whew, this might not have hit every note, but this to me is a really cool, fun reading that did a little bit of a 180, and I'm happy for that. So yes, if we had to pick yes or no, are you meant to be with this person? I'm going to say yes with all sorts of little incidental details. Okay. Please subscribe if you like this. I hope you did. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you again soon. Goodbye. Light and Bone Tarot, thank you so much for being here and for letting me read for you. We are doing a reading for, are you meant to be with this person? And I've never done this topic before, and I have loved these 2 readings that have come before you. So yes, are you meant to be with this person? Spirit will let us know. And I'm going to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already, especially if you enjoyed this reading and got something out of it. Okay, thank you. We're going to jump right into this. But malachite, this is your pile. I love it. Looks like a bunch of little eyes or pods or something, or swirlies. Okay, we're going to start with not a tarot, but an oracle card I want to see your person. I just want to understand them a little before I figure out, or before I translate Spirit's message as to whether or not you're meant to be. So let me see them. Okay, so we've got transformation. Okay, so pressure. To me, this is like the result of pressure being put on someone or something. So this can be someone who applies pressure or someone who feels pressure. But this is an interesting card. And this is a transformation, because once that pressure is applied, whatever's left behind, the pressurer or the pressuree, is likely transformed. So this card it's hard for me to see your person based on this card, because I would want to question, are they the ones applying the pressure? Are they the ones receiving the pressure? Are they transformed by pressure? I can't see that right now. And that's okay. I'm going to think on this because it's kind of stumped me, and I'm going to get 3 cards to figure out who your person is. And this is really going to help me understand the message behind pressure, because I don't get it right now, but I promise you I will. So bear with me. Okay. So we have the 4 of Swords. We have, pardon me, we have the 5 of Swords. Oh my goodness. And here's the 4 of Swords. So that's funny. 5 of Swords, 4 of Swords, and we have the Moon. Okay. So very airy, right? We've got, so when I think of the Swords, I do think your person is someone who is they pressure. And I want to get more clarification on that. And it's funny because the Moon is definitely very much like water. It's mystery, it's illusion, it's dreams. And yet this is very air. Okay. I'm sorry. I will get there, and then I will have a very clear idea of this. So there's something very mysterious about your person. And I do feel like there's a mix between, I don't know if they are like a very spiritual person themselves, and that's why I'm having such a hard time reading them. I don't know if they are, and we have this transformation card, like if they're in a state of transformation, or if they're in a like extreme state of change, I almost feel like they're going through something. And what I feel like they're going through, it's like taxing them mentally, let's say. Like there's something about it that it's asking a lot of them. For one, they've had to it's rest, like there's this rest and recovery. There can almost be like an illness associated with this. And then here I'm getting this almost like, defeat is the word you would give to this card, but like they've been defeated, or they've defeated this is very specific. I do think your person has gone through something, and I don't know why, but I'm getting the sense that like either they are dealing with an addiction, they're dealing with either a sickness, they're dealing with something that is making them very stressed. And it's almost like they are either keeping this a secret from you, or they don't want to let you in on it. Or if they are letting you in on it, they don't want anyone else let in on this. Like there's something they're protecting, but yet they had to do this. Whatever they're doing, they either had to seek treatment for something. They could be sick from something like addiction prone, or they could be sick from something like biologically, genetically, whatever. But there is something to me that they are going through that is very heavy. And I guess honestly, I really think that's why it's hard for me to read them, because they're either taking drugs right now to correct I don't want to say malady. I don't know if that's the right word, because I don't want to make it think like they've done something wrong, to create, oh my gosh, to fix an illness of some sort. There's just something, they're in a state of transition where it's almost like their chemical makeup isn't quite, I cannot get a clear read on them, but I do know they're going through something, and I do feel like a lot's been taken out of them. And I really feel for this person. So as much as I say like, oh, addiction, or they're hiding something, or I'm not judging them or calling them out. I really, really feel for them. There's something that they've been going through. They don't want to go through this. It's not pleasant. It's not nice. And if it was, again, I'm going to say something to do with an addiction, it's almost like they were forced by family, friends, loved ones, like you have to seek help, you have to seek treatment. There was a pressure there to do that. Or maybe there was a pressure to go to the hospital for other reasons, and then something came about and they found out they were sick. And this is so sad and so hard. And it's also so specific. So I don't want this to be your reading. I hope none of this tracks and you can abandon this reading altogether. And if it doesn't track, then yeah, stop this reading. You don't have to subscribe. Stop this reading, because I really think this is a very specific message. But there can be toned down versions of this as well. It doesn't mean that they are like in a 28-day treatment center, although it could, but maybe it's still like, maybe you or someone else turned up the pressure and was like, look, you've just got to stop drinking. Like, this has to stop. So I don't know what the element is, but anyway, we've already said it. They are dealing with something. And there is this like shadow side of them that like, I can't quite see them because they can't even see themselves right now. They're in a transition of healing of some kind. And I feel for them. And if it's your person, then you've definitely been going through this with them. I think you feel... And I feel like if you're here asking the question, are you meant to be? And this is a really hard thing for me to say. I don't want to say that you almost want the answer to be no, because there's a cruelness there. But I do feel like this has been such a ride, or you're in for such a ride that you really want to know, like, is this my person? And if so, what am I taking on, kind of thing. And I've never had a reading like this before, so I will probably not make it too long, because I don't know, there's something very sad and heavy about it, and I don't know why. Okay, so I'm gonna ask who you are in this dynamic or this relationship, to see, and I don't know if I'm even gonna give an answer on if you're meant to be, because I just can't see exactly what the question is with this person, but I do think regardless, you're helping them and you seem to care for them. And I think that's huge and important. Okay, so let's see who you are in this dynamic, or like, this is basically how they make you feel, and let's see if this resonates with you. And so dark matter. So there is a sense of like dark matter to me, it's like a black hole. I guess it's necessary. But I feel like, when I say, but I feel like this person is just sucking the life out of you. Everything is about them and when I say issue, I don't mean that in like a petty way, like, oh, their issue, whatever they're going through, whatever this massive thing they're dealing with is, you've been also going through it. You've been dealing with it, and it has sucked you into their world. It's like this vortex. And I do feel like you guys are almost both like spinning in space together. And I do think you've probably helped them tremendously, but I also have a feeling you have a little bitterness or resentment. And I'm just going to say, as you should, because this is a lot to deal with, whatever it is. But I feel like it's created a little anxiety and sort of chaos within you. But I see the butterflies in this card, and I think like, you're not angry. You're not outwardly angry, but this is like an innermost feeling you have about this, where you're like, again, I almost think you want this reading to come up like, no, you're not meant to be. It's not your person. You can gracefully bow out of this situation. So just saying those words out loud, I am going to say, I don't think you're tied to this person in this, like, you guys may have a spiritual connection. You might offer them, you guys might even be like, like soulmates or something. Like, you might have this really like other earthly connection where you get them and you help them and you offer them something tremendous, and maybe even vice versa. But I don't know that this is someone you're meant to be with, only because I see so much pain and struggle off this person, and I see so much of a journey or a path that they have to go into on their own. I see a lot ahead of them, that I don't love the thought of you going into this thinking this is the person you're supposed to or meant to be with, because it just feels like a lot. But I'm going to get 3 cards about you in this dynamic, and we'll see if I don't know if it tracks or not. We'll see if you're still here listening. Okay. So Ace of Wands, which is not a bad card at all. 2 of Cups and Justice. So, I mean, these are really sweet cards, okay? Ace of Wands is like, it's playful, it's enthusiastic, it's hopeful, it's exuberance, it's whatever you want it to be. It's a fun little cat playing with a string. Like, love the Ace of Wands. This is positive. The Two of Cups is like love, intimacy, friendship. It's all sorts of beautiful things. And here we have two cats with their little tails intertwined. And then Justice is the one more, like, this would be the heavier card for you. And this to me is like, I think of cause and effect, right? And fairness, and just that question of like, am I getting what I give out of this? Is this, at the end of the day, is this taking more than it's giving? Is there going to be like a fairness? Is this going to play out to actually be fair? Is it just that I maybe see this person through everything when they actually can't give me anything right now? But I will say, I see these two cards here, and these are very positive cards. And these cards tell me, if we look into this like positively, okay, it tells me that you guys did or do or definitely did have something very real. There was a love, there was a passion, there was a sincerity, there was a goodness there. And I have a feeling it's when your person was in a different place, or this hadn't come to light. Maybe they were just on one all the time and it felt that way. I don't know. But I do think there was a time where things were really good and sweet and good between you guys. And there was a genuine enthusiasm from both of you to make this work. And maybe you guys can get back there. Maybe you do love this person so much and this is just a really hard time and you will get back there. I don't know. And I don't even know how I would speculate. I mean, I'll turn cards over and I'll read the message I see, but anyway, I'll do my best to lighten what I put on the table here, but I don't change what I saw here. So that still stands. But assuming this person, if they need to change something, that if they can, like, let's say, seek treatment to help themselves and help those people around them, then sure, maybe this is someone that you could be with. I don't know why I have a hard time saying you're meant to be with this person. And I think those are some weird, deep-seated issue I have. So I don't know if that's the message I'm getting, but I will say that I do see you guys really loved and cared about each other. And maybe this message is here to tell you, like, yes, you genuinely did care for this person. They genuinely cared for you. You don't have to feel guilty about anything. I feel like there's a guilt here for you. And we're going to address that, because already I think you've probably left if this reading doesn't speak to you at all. So if it does, we will address that guilt issue. But I just want to see in a card what this relationship feels like for both of you. Like, what in a card, how would we describe this dynamic right now? We'll see what this is. And so, okay, so this is speed and movement, which is also positive. I would say that things are happening. Things are probably happening pretty quickly. And again, it's all coming back to this one person for me. So they are either like wheels have been put in motion, things might be happening quickly. And with that, I think there's probably like amped up or like extreme changes in personality, circumstance, surroundings, whatever. Things are I just think there's been a lot of change, and I think it's happened very quickly. As far as the movement piece of this, I'm not sure. I think someone was here and now they're here, and it happened like that. Like, maybe things became exposed in the form of like maybe a diagnosis or something being revealed. I don't know, but I feel like it happened very quickly. And that's kind of the vibe right now. And again, this isn't like a loved up romantic card. This is a card to just say, like, right now things are moving very quickly. And I don't know that either one of you can even like capture it. It's just a card kind of lacking emotion to say like there's transition. Okay, so I'm going to ask Spirit for you. These are my chakra cards, and I want her to kind of give you guidance through these chakras. And this is going to be like something you can look for, like a sign you can like look for, or something you need to work on to just help with this decision. And this can be like, the decision, or it can be like, if you're feeling guilt, how to address that guilt, how to get out of this dynamic romantically if you need to. They're just, when we turn these two cards over, I think we're going to understand a little bit about like what you need to do for you. So this is what you need to do for you. This is Spirit's message. And we're not even really talking about if you're meant to be anymore, because there's a lot here. And I think that's a lot to answer in a tarot reading right now. But let's get to cards of guidance from Spirit. So we've got movement and energy. So, okay, this is green, and green is your heart chakra. And so this is something like, to me, this is her saying like, you really need to feel love. You need to feel like in your heart that either there's something about love here, and it is definitely, it's the heart chakra, it's giving love, it's receiving love. But what I get out of this is like, if you don't feel that, if this now feels more like a transaction where you are caring for someone or you're supporting someone, and it's beyond that of like any feelings of like love, extreme, I don't want to say kindness, but like if you feel like you're doing anything out of obligation and it's not connected to like love or romance anymore, or to your heart, like, then I want you to really think about that, because this heart chakra card makes me think that your heart isn't activated right now. You're doing things that are very likely kind and caring, but I don't think it's coming from your heart. It's probably coming from a place of like, I need to do this. This is what I should be doing. This is what people expect me to do. This is what I feel I should be doing. I'll be guilty if I don't. I just don't think your heart is activated. And if you activated it, you might realize that there's a lot of lack there, or you might feel the opposite. You might feel completely lit up and turned on and want to jump all in with this person. So I don't know what you're going to feel, but you need to activate that chakra. And so I would just say, get your heart working, get in tune with that part of you a little bit, less logic and more feel, get in your feels a little bit. And energy, root chakra. So I do think that this situation, whatever it is, this person, whatever, is taking a lot of energy from you. And I think that it is leaving you feeling just not only lost, but like without, like you're just not grounded. I really think that everything is about them, and you're being like pulled, like you've got your own sense of pressure pulling you or pushing you towards this, and you're just not grounded. I think you need to find your own kind of like space, your own home, your own grounding, and just plant yourself there for a little bit and find your energy. I do think you're being sucked dry of energy on so many levels. You're probably not eating right. You might be losing weight, gaining weight. You might be like, I just feel like you're being just sucked dry, and you need to find your energy, and you need to take care of you. These are Spirit's two pieces of advice. So we've got your root chakra here, and then we've got your heart chakra. And I guess I would say these are sort of out of whack for you right now, which is why you probably are asking this question, and you can't, because if your heart chakra was more tapped into this situation, you would probably have more of a gut feeling like yes. Or maybe you do have a gut feeling because your gut chakra card did not come up. Maybe your gut feeling is exactly what you need to be listening to. And maybe you need to develop more emotion around that to really like back up that gut feeling. So I would say that because you did not get a card saying you need to listen to your gut, or saying you aren't listening to your gut, maybe you do need maybe you have a gut feeling and it's very much intact, and maybe you've been fighting it and you need to really go with that. Anyway, sorry for this reading. But if you were here and you're still listening, then you were meant to find it. And then I'm not sorry, because I do think it was the reading you were meant to hear, which I would love to hear about if that's the case. But I wish you the best. I wish your person the best. And if you do have any interest in commenting one way or the other, I would love to hear it, because it's probably one of the heavier / darker readings I've ever done. So anyway, they're not all like this, and I hope to see you again. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Tarot, thank you so much for being here and for letting me read for you. We are here for Are You Meant to Be with This Person? And this is about to be the fourth in three very interesting and completely unique readings. So Ocean Jasper, here you are. This is your pile, your reading. I love how it looks like, oh my gosh, like little, I don't know. I can't think of the words. When I think of it, I'll let you know. Okay, here we are. We're going to jump right into this, and I'm going to start by asking for a card to kind of see your person and understand them a little, and then I'll flank it with some tarot and we'll build out from there. So here we go. This is your person. Clarity Mountain. And the thing I like about this card is mountains were places back when that people would climb to reach like higher elevations of like thought and clarity. They have spiritual components. They also have like from a warfare aspect, you know, you would be able to spy on your opponents or whatever. Like mountains have a lot of, it's a vantage point. It's a high viewpoint. It's a bird's eye view. It's very much where you are to see things clearly. And I'm going to say there's something, to me, I get a very positive vibe off of this card. I actually think that your person, just in this card, I'm thinking that they're with you because like they know you, they see you, they know who you are, and they like it, and they've chosen to be with you. They are very much invested in you because they see you. I think you've possibly known them for a while. Like they know all your little good, bad, otherwise parts, little idiosyncrasies. I feel like they really see you, whatever that means. And you probably feel this, and it's probably pretty appealing. So just off of this Mountain Clarity card, I feel like, yes, you guys have a connection, and there's just something here that you are, even if you don't know if you're meant to be with this person, like you're not at that point in your relationship where you've clearly had a discussion, like, yes, we're meant to be, this is it. I think there's a feeling or a sense that you guys have something very, very special and that you're truly connected. Yeah. And I think your person there's something very light and kind of beautiful about them as well. I know you can't see this card, but it's a mountain range. And I just feel like there's a cleanliness to them. There's something very clear and kind of airy and ethereal about them. I just think they have a very positive, good energy. That's it. That's all those words brought me to say that they do have a very positive and good energy. And I like them. And I like how they see you. So these are 3 cards to kind of get a highlight of your person for me. Ace of Pentacles. We've got the 2 of Swords. And the Page of Wands. And these are cat cards, in case you were wondering. Okay, this is basically a card of decision, you could say. This is, the Page of Wands to me is, I like this. This is like curiosity, passion, or just an enthusiasm. Pardon me, I just lost my mind for a second. I think the last few readings were long and intense. Okay, I think your person, I feel like they're no nonsense. I think they work hard. I think they're very respected. There's something to make me think that they're just very actually smart, very bright. And they're probably not Bill Gates or Elon Musk. But they have that, or I was going to say Steve Jobs, which they're obviously not, but they have that sense. I have that sense that they're very smart. They're very high functioning. They're very determined. They just don't muck around. Like they know what they want. They go after it. And I don't know. I feel like they have a lot of choices in their life. They have a lot of options, but they see things clearly. And I feel like they've chosen you. And that's a weird thing to say, but I do feel like they've really, there's something about them. I see them as a catch. I see them as being someone that a lot of people want. And I think it's mainly because I do think they're a good person. I think they have a goodness to them. I think they have a very clear and concise way of communicating. And I just think they live a very clean life, at least for what it's worth, or as best as they can. And I also think they do pretty well. Or if they're younger and they're just kind of starting out, I think they're definitely on that path. They've been groomed for success and they are going to be successful. But I do think that they're independent. I don't think this is like some trust fund kid or adult. There's something very intentional and good about them. So yes, I like them. And they have this this ongoing kind of enthusiasm for life, this kind of quest for knowledge. I think they are very much wanting to be tapped into this like spiritual kind of lifted energy. So if you were to tell them like you watched a tarot video on if you guys were meant to be, they would probably want to hear about it. Like they just would find that interesting at the very least. Okay, so let's find out who you are in this dynamic. How do they make you feel? What's your vibe here? And so this is Earth home. And I like this, just reminds me of like a queen, like a Mother Earth, like just kind of this earth goddess. There's something very queenly and like stately in this card. And I think they make you feel like a queen, quite frankly. Like they're queen, like they're bitch, like they're in a good way. Like you are empowered with them. I feel like you call the shots. They kind of defer to you to like make decisions. They respect your input, and you have this sense of power when you're with them. You're empowered when you're with them, and you are powerful when you're with them. And I like that. I don't know if you guys are a power couple. You could be. That wasn't the vibe I got initially, but this person is definitely powerful or carries some weight or some clout or something. And yet they're quite good. There's a transparency to them where I feel like they want people to see them as being a good person. It's important that through all that they're doing, they're also seen as being good. And I want to see that you guys are meant to be. And so far, I have nothing to think that you're not. I just haven't gotten into like those kind of direct questions, but I'm going to ask now for some tarot cards about you. I want to see you a little bit, and then we'll get a little bit more into your dynamic. But, yeah, I would say so far there's a lot to make me think you guys could be meant to be. And I think it's hard for this person to find their person. Not that it isn't hard for you, but, I would say they have more resources options. They might travel more. They just might encounter more people to choose from. Okay. They might have a bigger pool of people to choose from. And I do think they've chosen you, and I don't want that to sound chauvinistic at all. I don't mean that in like a bad way at all. I just think that they care for you. They like you. They want to be with you. They think there's something very respectable about you. Yeah. Okay. Let's get into you. Who are you? Okay. So the Hermit, I love that. Strength. We've got 2 major cards for you. And then we've got Ace of Wands. So you do have a complexity to you. And actually, I think they really respect you for your mind, which might not sound exciting or sexy, but it is, because I'm sure you're stunning. I'm sure you're beautiful. I feel like you have a very kind of earthly vibe to you. Like you're probably that just beautiful kind of hippie-ish character. There's something very like bohemian about you. Let's put it that way. But yes, I do think you're turned in a good way. I think you're kind of deep. I think you have an intrigue. I think you have a spiritual component to you as well. And I think you're just very tuned into your own energy, what you need. You will always take care of yourself, and they respect this about you. There's this independence there. And I think for you, not only do you care for your body and, your skin and your hair and all that, like you do care about outwardly appearances, but I think you really care about your mind and how you take care of yourself and how you just like nurture yourself. You are probably like very into yoga or daily stretching. You probably eat very well and very clean. You detox from anything that's like toxic or not working for you. And I mean that like not only in foods you take in, but like as far as like friends or work situations or colleagues, like you're just not going to surround yourself with anything that doesn't make you a better person and make the people around you better. And that's what I get out of the Hermit card for you. I just think you know when to just leave a situation. You know when to work on yourself. That's it. You know when to work on yourself. And you do. I feel like you're always working on yourself. And there is something about that this person finds incredibly intriguing and interesting. I think you might have an artistic piece to you that they also actually probably find dead sexy. There's something very creative and earthy and like luscious or like, what's the word? There's just something very intriguing and enticing about you. But not from this, like, I don't see you walking around with like designer labels or driving the most expensive car. at Whole Foods. Like, I feel like you are understated or downplayed. Like, you're the person that can go out with no makeup and you just like, look, you're still like the most interesting person in the room kind of thing. I just feel like that's you, and that's awesome. And then yeah, strength, like you are confident, you're strong, you are pretty good at getting people to do the things you want them to do. And I think that's because you on the whole are so unaffected. There is just this vibe to you that you don't give a shit what anyone thinks. You're your own person. You're going to be happy no matter what. You could be on an island and it could be you and like the animals and you'd be fine. You know, you're very, very independent and self-sufficient. Yeah. And you're just, there's this earthiness too. So I like your vibe. I like you. I'm going to say you guys are meant to be because there's so much positivity coming off of both of you. You guys are both like if you guys weren't meant to be, I don't know where I would go with this because you seem like two beautiful humans inside and out. Why wouldn't you be meant to be? If you're here reading, like it just, yeah, I mean, we're going to further instill that message. But okay, let me ask who you guys are as a couple. What's your energy? What's your vibe when you're together? So this will help us figure out if you're meant to be. So let's see, you guys, and outer core fluidity. So this, you know, like I said, hippie, there's something about this. Like, I do think you guys really get each other. And I'm not in any way saying that you guys have an open relationship, but like, there's that piece of this where I just feel like you guys are on the same level, whatever. And I only say that because that's the kind of vibe I get from you guys. Like, you can discuss anything. Like, you two, there's something very hippie and kind of like left field about you two, but cause you're like pushing boundaries together. But I'm not saying that you guys, you know, like are welcoming other people into your bedroom or anything like that. If you are, fine. If not, I'm not saying you should at all, or that's the vibe I'm getting, but there's just something very like open and progressive about you guys as a couple. That's it. So yeah, I see you guys as being very progressive and interesting, and just, yeah, like you're just boundary pushers, and in a very, very good way. And it could be like, I don't know. I mean, you guys could both be like vegans that, you know, totaling vegans. Like you could be extreme in ways that seem boring, but you guys make it seem interesting. You guys could wake up at 4:30 every morning and like stretch and drink spring water, and yet people would find that interesting. Or your diet. There's just something very cool and edgy and hip and relevant about you guys. And I like that. And yes, I do think you guys are meant to be. I think you guys have a very spiritual, earthy, beautiful connection. And I'm going to get into some chakra cards that will give more positive messages, or kind of like, maybe little tidbits or words of advice, but everything to me is very sweet and cool and hip about you guys. And yeah, love it. Okay, so I want to see a chakra. I'm going to ask Spirit for you, a chakra that you've got very developed, which is beautiful and wonderful about this connection, and one you need to work on. And then we're going to do the same for your partner. So you, in this relationship, you've got, this is good, even though it looks awful, it's actually quite good. And this is good too. So we've got fear is what you've got checked out. You are not fearful in this connection. You feel safe. You feel secure. You feel the opposite of fearful. So, and fear can mean so many different things. But you feel safe with this person. Like you, I don't know, like they're protecting you. They're your protector. And this is a beautiful thing. This does not align with any unique or specific chakra, but it's just an overall message that yes, this person makes you feel safe. And it's probably a relief. Like you breathe a sigh of relief, or you have been able to like push yourself further, or drop boundaries, push boundaries. There's just a part of me that makes me think you're growing and expanding because you don't have a fear in this connection. What you do need to work on, and this really isn't a chakra either because it's not much of a color, ghost. And I don't know what this is. So I can say, this is funny. This would be something you need to work on. And I do feel like you're probably a spiritual person. But there's an aspect of I don't know, there's an aspect of your spirituality, or there's a part of a different kind of like metaphysical world or whatever that you could be exploring or thinking about, or something, or maybe there's a relative or a friend that is passed that you need to look into that a little bit. Maybe there's a blockage there, and it's so kind of out there and like woo woo, but I mean, I get these things. That's not what the reading was about. So it's hard for me to like speak too much on it, but I will say there's a blockage somewhere that has something to do with either someone who has passed or a type of like spirituality that you need to explore and push yourself in. That's the message there. And I am sorry if that is not very clear, but hopefully that tracks for you in some way. We're going to do the same for your partner. What's great? What do they have totally developed in this? And then what do they need to work on? So it looks like this to me it's very third eye. It's very spiritual. It's very like high level seen, knowing, tapped in. And yeah, and I think you add to this, because you're not weighing them down with your fears or your concerns. You guys are both so free. Like there's so much movement for you guys to just move and do whatever you want. And that's what I get to this fluidity card too. Like you're just so open in your thoughts, your words, your actions, your everything. And, I do think there's a spiritual component that your person really needs to feel complete. And they're getting this in your guys' dynamic and connection, which is very good, because I'm sure other relationships have blocked this in them, but no, not with you. You guys are growing and they are really developing this third eye component. And then also moving up to the top of the head, which the word crown, this would kind of move up to the crown, which is that like ultimate highest level of spiritual connection and being kind of plugged in, but they're working on this. And then the one thing the one thing they need to work on that, if they had to work on something, this is advice from spirit, and this is abundance. And the green is the heart. So I don't get abundance with money, although maybe they do need to, there might be an emphasis on money for them, which is fine. And like I said, I do think there's a success. Maybe they are a little bit too connected to money from like a happiness thing. Like maybe they're finding too much happiness or reward, because this is heart chakra and there's abundance, too much emphasis placed on a monetary gain, or maybe that is preventing them or holding them back from like an ultimate step towards like love or something to do with their heart, but something to do with their heart and money. And like whatever I just said, I don't necessarily know that I have the energy to repeat it, but, or if I did, I would like mess it up somehow. But I do think that there's something with their heart chakra that is, maybe there's an overemphasis on like a joy that is connected to an earning amount. But that is oddly specific. However, there is a part of their heart chakra, I will just leave it there, that they need to develop and work on. But again, I think your person is doing so well. I think you're doing so well. I think you guys have this very loving, positive, awesome bond and commitment. I think you guys are like so committed to each other. Like, I feel like past lives, you guys are like, and this would absolutely be that like twin flame soulmate connection. Whether it's twin flame or soulmate, I'm not sure, but it's definitely one or both of those. I'm absolutely getting that vibe here. Like you guys have many, many lifetimes that you've spent together, and I think many more. And you better each other. There's this, it's like you're supposed to be together because you're really lifting each other and showing each other things. And there's just this boundary pushing that I'm getting that's so positive. So yeah, I'm going to wrap your reading up here because it's really delightful and good. And if any of this tracks, which I hope it does, I would love to hear about it if you would leave me a comment. And yeah, nothing makes me happier. I need the subscriptions to continue to do this, but the comments just feed my soul. So let me know if you have anything to say about this. Okay, thank you. I'm just going to thank you and say goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye.